Hello, everybody. Yeah, my girlfriend asked me to make a video, and I was like, "Ooh, oh, okay." So I just got out of the shower and getting ready to do a video. Um, anyway, it's cooking. All right. So what I'm gonna make is my one of my favorites. I've had this recipe since I was like 22. I was making this. Started out as something that I made on the grill, and I marinated it overnight. You can do that. Don't have to. I like just frying it up in the pan too. And yeah, if you're going to marinate, throw it on the barbecue. This works excellent for that. I haven't tried this in an air fryer yet, and I'm thinking about trying it. But um, I do is I go to Costco. Chicken thighs are still pretty cheap per pound. And I go to Costco and I buy like great big packages, 6 packs of like several couple pounds of chicken. Anyway, I also do this with pork. If you're struggling with food, this is cheap, delicious meal. You got potatoes, you can throw a potato in the microwave, cook it for 5 minutes, boom, that's done. Vegetables, pick your vegetable. Um, if you like wine, white wine's good with chicken. What else? Well, let's get to it. So, we have olive oil. We're going to need a half a cup of that. Now, if you're making a big meal for a family, you might want to double this. So, you've got half cup of olive oil, and you're going to use a third cup of lemon juice and a quarter cup butter or half a stick, whichever you prefer. So, I'm going to turn this burner on. Hopefully it works good. Some of these burners don't like to regulate their temperature very well, so you got to watch them. This is an old stove. So we'll just melt this butter in here like so. And then what I like to do is take the chicken, clean it off, pat it dry. And in one package I've got 4 pieces of chicken. Perfect meal for me. Like I said, if you got boys or anything like that, you got a large family you want to feed, you might want to double this or even triple or quadruple, depends on how big your boys are. My boys are big, so I probably do at least 2 packages, if not 3. So we'll let that melt. And then we have garlic. I like garlic, so I'm going to take a whole teaspoon of that, throw it in there. Good, yummy, yummy. And then I prefer to use real onions, but I don't cook enough. I probably should, but you can use, like garlic powder or chopped onions, onion powder for a quick flavor. And then I'm gonna some of these onions in here. We'll do a teaspoon of that, or tablespoon, I mean. 1 tablespoon. Put that back together. And I try to keep this under a certain amount of time because I try to keep all my videos under 15 minutes. The thing about chicken is the cheapest is the bone in with the skin on yet. So they don't process it or take the skin off. So that's going to be the cheapest. However, I know a lot of people don't like skin, but skin is one of the healthiest parts of the chicken. It's got all the good fat in it. The bones, the thing about bones, whenever you have bone and meat, it usually takes a little longer to cook that meat. We've got some Himalayan pink salt. And you're just going to want a little teeny bit of that. Not going to get crazy. use quarter teaspoon of that. Pepper. Pepper, we're going to double that to a half a teaspoon. Come on. Come over there. Give me the pepper. Should be good enough. Alright, I'll get that out of the way. Garlic. Oregano leaves. This is a brand new one because I wanted my oregano to taste decent. I prefer fresh garlic. I prefer fresh garlic, fresh oregano, fresh onions, but sometimes, you know, you just got to use what you got. As long as it brings that flavor. I'm going to put a whole teaspoon, or tablespoon I mean, of garlic in there. I love garlic, and you want a lot of it for that tangy taste that I love on this recipe. And you can adjust your spices for taste. Sometimes I like to throw in a little bit extra while it's cooking. I'll throw in a little bit extra lemon juice to kind of help cover up the meat. You want to make sure you have a pan. If you're doing this on the stove, you want a pan where the chicken is tight, and this marinade will cover it all so it can cook. Put my garlic away. Butter's almost gone. I'll show you. This is what I like to get from Costco. This chicken right here. Cheap. Good cheap food. You buy a whole bunch of it. It's expensive. It seems like it's expensive because you're buying so much chicken. But when you do it per meal, it's really cheap. Okay, the butter is getting down there. It's on medium. Let's see. Take the spoon. Around a little bit. The reason I like to do it this way is I really don't like melting butter in the microwave, but I do it. I put it in a small glass container, coffee cup, whatever, throw it in the microwave for a minute, and it's usually melted pretty quick. So, but I want that butter to soak up that flavor of that garlic. So throw it in the olive oil. This is probably the most expensive thing on the menu, or on the list of ingredients. And I want about a third cup of this beautiful lemon juice. Throw that in there. Let that simmer for a little bit, and then we'll just throw the chicken right on there, and that's pretty much all there is to it. You let it cook for, sometimes it may vary depending on what you're cooking it on. If you're cooking on the stove, it might take a little longer. If you're cooking it on the barbecue, it just depends on the temperature, you know, and how fast the chicken cooks. And like I said, the bone in the thighs will kind of slow down the process. So if you're used to cooking without the bone in, and you're cooking with the bone in, a piece of meat, cook it longer, because it will not be, it'll be raw in the middle, because that, for some reason, the bone acts like a heat sink. So, and here we got a lovely chicken thighs. Bring this temperature up a little bit. It's just doesn't look special in any way, but It's probably one of the healthiest recipes I have that I make all the time. Oops. Get rid of that. Starting to simmer. Throw our chicken in there. Get some of that going. Get us a fork. Flip it one time. Get them juices all over everything. I could have probably had just a slightly smaller pan. So I'm only cooking 4 pieces. Usually I like to cook like 6 to 8 pieces at a time. And that's basically it. You just let that cook. Leave it on the stove for, sometimes I end up cooking it for like a half an hour just to make sure it's done. But like I said, it just depends on temperature of things. I leave the oregano out, I leave this out, and I leave this out just in case I want to fill the pan up a little bit more. Your measurements don't have to be exact. The healthiest part about this is everything. You have spices, you have lemon juice, you have olive oil. Olive oil is probably one of the best oils to cook in. I never cook with vegetable oil ever. It is disgusting, filthy crap. How much time we got? 12. Okay. We'll toss that plate in the sink since I had chicken sitting on it, raw chicken. People get a little too crazy with all that. Oh my God, you're gonna get salmonella. Oh well, I guess. If I die, I die, so what? So we'll just let that go. Like I said, half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and make sure you get good quality olive oil too. There's a lot of bad olive oil out there. They mix it and they combine it with bad olive oil, but they still try to call it extra virgin or virgin olive oil. Yeah, I get my olive oil from Costco. You can get like 2 of those. You can get double packages of the lemon juice, and then if I had a Costco here, I'd shop at Costco all the time. I would. And they have things that other people just don't have, like certain types of high-end champagne, high-end whiskey, high-end lots of things. But half a cup of olive oil, this is the recipe, a 1/3 cup of lemon juice, and you have a 1/4 cup of butter, and then you have a tablespoon of oregano, a tablespoon of onions, or onion powder, chopped onion, whatever you got. If you like garlic as much as me, you can double it up. I use half a teaspoon of garlic, or a couple cloves. And then a half teaspoon of pepper and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And that's pretty much it. And like I said, you can change it up. When I'm doing it on the stove, I tend to use a little bit more lemon juice. And sometimes I like to spread a little extra oregano on. Double it, enjoy it. And 15 minutes is up, so I'm going to get off, and I'll catch you all later.